There is no shame in doing life differently. There is no shame in deciding that you are tired, you are done, you are so over it, and deciding that you are going to approach things differently. And that includes work, that includes what you do to earn money. As you know, I've been talking about pretirement for the last handful of videos. Pretirement is the decade and a half or so before we are supposedly, allegedly supposed to retire, and getting off that hamster wheel and stopping that grind and that hustle and finding the joy in life and taking time for ourselves, including rest and reset when we need to. My name is Amy Palmer. I am your GenX Big Sister, and we've been chatting about this for a couple of videos, and there's been a theme that's come up a few different times in the comment sections, and I wanted to address them today. And it is connected with shame, although it might not seem that way in the comments. So what I'm talking about is people who are concerned with what this says about us as a generation and as an aging portion of the population, and does it feed into ageist tendencies. So there was a couple of comments that said something about how, you'll just be making it harder for the rest of us if companies think that women in their 50s are no longer motivated to work. I'm already having a hard enough time getting companies to take me seriously. And if you're not motivated to work, you're adding into that stereotype. So let me clarify a few things, because absolute valid concern, it comes from a concern which is 1000% valid around ageist tendencies in the corporate world, in hiring practices that companies and businesses take. 1000% true. This is separate from that. I'm not saying we are not motivated to work. I am very motivated. I'm working every day, and I'm not, 7 days a week, not 5 days a week, but it's 7 days a week on my timeline when it fit, working it into my lifestyle in the way that I've designed. But I am still highly motivated to do what I do. And my clients have been reaping the rewards of that, whether it's, my company clients, my corporate clients, or individual clients. I'm able to actually exceed their expectations because I'm in such flow with what I'm doing. So this isn't about women in their 50s are no longer motivated to work. And this is not about not being motivated. Motivation, inspiration, the desire to act and to take action can still be front and center without it being a hustle and grind, without it being trying to climb a corporate ladder or running on a hamster wheel, etc. It's about doing it differently. And so, for example, for me, I took pieces of my skill set that brought me the most joy, and that's what I'm marketing to companies and or individuals. And if you were to talk to my clients right now, they would tell you that they are beyond thrilled with the work that I'm doing. It's because I'm taking the portion of stuff that I love to do, and that's how I'm earning my income. I'm letting go of the office politics. I'm letting go of having to market myself while I'm doing it. One of the things that was exhausting in my corporate executive career is not only did I have to achieve all the goals and grow the revenue and improve the business and take care of the people and, do all the things I needed to do, I also had to constantly convince the rungs above me on the ladder that what I was doing was appropriate. And I was constantly having to sell them on my ability and competency and, market myself to climb the ladder. I had to do that while doing the actual job. Well, I've let go of all of that. So I'm able to like hone in and focus on the job without all the outside noise. And I just have significantly more joy with what I'm doing. And I can pick and choose who I want to work with, the environments I want to work in, etc. And it fills me up. So I don't want you to get my message wrong. I'm not telling everybody like check out completely. You need to be fueled by purpose and passion, and you need to generate an income somehow in some way, right? So I'm not saying that you're going to stop doing that. Now I am advocating for some rest and for taking a break, because many of you, and it might be you specifically that I'm talking to, may desperately need to take a break and might need to heal and get yourself right and get into the best version of yourself before you are able to embark on having this pretirement and functioning in the way that I'm describing. But it's a very valid theme that came up in the comments. The other one that struck me was somebody that said that we actually have to do the opposite, that we should be leaning in further and working harder, because we were taught, Gen X, we were taught that we work really hard and we're going to get the rewards. But if we're giving up before we reap all those benefits of the rewards, then we're sort of giving into the system, or we're letting the system down, or something like that. That we put in all this hard work, what we should get the ultimate benefit. And yeah, sure, sure, we have put in the hard work. But one of the things that I've learned in these last couple of years, since I have broken free and I'm doing things differently in my retirement, is that the word rewards means something different to me now. And what it means to work hard means something differently to me now. I'm not looking for the same kind of rewards that I used to be looking for. And to be honest, when you think about it, part of what I'm suggesting is to take on some of the mindset and approach that Gen Zs have, and the younger generations, and the youngest of the millennials. They have a more mission-based, balanced approach. It's very important to them that they feel fulfilled and happy, and not having their like mental health completely obliterated from a company, maybe to an extreme. So that might be worth a different conversation. But if they're not happy with their job situation, they easily move on to the next thing. They don't put up with what we've put up with for decades and decades. So I'm not saying that we go to the extremes that some of the younger generation shows right now, that they have their own benefits and their own challenges that they're working through, that I also find very, very fascinating. But there are elements of what they bring to the workforce that makes sense to me. And now I know like work-life balance is a phrase that's been debated and tossed around for a long, long time. But the younger generations don't fall prey to making a job and a company their be all end all and their identity. In general, I know I'm generalizing. In general, they don't. So all I'm suggesting, Gen X, as we do our pretirement, let's take on a little bit of those Gen Z attributes as we approach how we're going to generate income. And in terms of the ageist aspects of that, those traits are no different than what the youngsters are doing. I mean, they experience ageism in a different kind of way. But if we pursue something that we're aligned in with, like if we're like offering service and serving the world in a way that we're aligned and we feel good and we feel passionate about what we're doing, we're going to excel at it. And those that are on the receiving end of it are going to truly appreciate that and see our brilliance. We know the high value that we bring. We know it. And the best way to prove that is to show it. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. It's in the results of what we do. So there was another one there was some more comments that, there were quite a few that talked about, oh, I'm don't check out. That's selfish. And I don't think it's selfish to take care of yourself. I'm going to die on that hill. I don't think it's selfish to prioritize yourself and take care of yourself and make sure that you are good and healthy and whole before you start giving out into the world. I'm not gonna change my mind on that. As far as what it does to the other people, I had a nice little exchange conversation with a viewer that was saying, if you check out, it leaves more work for the rest of us, and we're left, holding the burden. I'm not saying check out. I'm not saying underperform. I'm saying stop overperforming. And I'm saying take the rest that you've deserved, take that PTO that you've earned, and no reason to go beyond what you need to be doing. And I think this is the beginning of trying to counteract some of the ageist views in the workplace. And this isn't really a topic that I talk about much. I don't necessarily think I'm an expert at it. I mean, I think that over 40, over 50, and soon to be over 60-year-old people, contributors to our economy and to our society, have immense value. In general, we have honed our working skills, our ability to navigate complex projects, our ability to solve complex problems, our ability to coach, our ability to communicate. There's just so much that we have honed over the decades of our career. And I think when given the opportunity, we are able to really show how we shine and what we bring to the table. And I don't think that continuing to hustle and grind and making the job our be all end all and making the company the ruler of our destiny, I don't think that that's going to counteract ageism problems that we have in the workforce. I think that the younger generations will continue to see what we bring to the table when we are in our best form and being able to bring forth our best serve our creativity, our whatever it is that we do, whatever impact it is that we have on the world. So I just wanted to address all that. We got to take away the shame of saying, okay, yeah, I want to dial back. And there were several comments of people who've been doing this and either they admitted it or you could read between the lines that they felt guilty about it. There are several that said that they dropped back in position. They're at like a lower level position and they're much happier, but they're, wondering, had they lost the respect of others and of their peers and of themselves, or they've like switched to some part-time jobs and just other ways to fund their life, to bring in income that supports the rest of their life. And I'm detecting that there's shame in that. And I just want to remind you that there's no shame in being fully, truly you in this world and showing up as all you. And if taking on just a few attributes of the younger generations helps us do that, no shame in that either. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. If you got any ideas on how we counteract this ageism stuff that's happening out, that's been happening for a long time. But if you get any thoughts and ideas around that, drop them in the comments. Would love to hear it. My name is Amy Palmer. Please like and subscribe to this channel. Welcome. This is your GenX Big Sister signing out.